Welcome back to Wake Up America. So it's a chilling reality right now, gripping our nation. Violence is skyrocketing against those who are sworn to protect us. The numbers, they clearly tell the story. Homeland Security reports attacks on ICE agents up more than 1,000%.
And it's not just ICE under attack. The deadly shooting of 2 National Guard members in our nation's capital is just one example of targeted violence sweeping our nation.
Now the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, Republican Congressman Andrew Garbarino of New York, will use his first full House hearing as chairman to directly address the violence against law enforcement and personnel. That hearing kicks off later this morning. The chairman joins us. Good morning to you, Mr. Chairman. As the son of a police officer, I can tell you how much this means to the men and women in blue. You're hearing today, when badges become targets, how anti-law enforcement rhetoric fuels violence against officers. Will feature non-government witnesses. What do you expect to hear today?
Well, I expect to hear a lot of stats on the increase on attacks on law enforcement over the past couple of years. Some of those stats being just this year, over 55 officers have been shot nationwide. We've seen an increase, over 60% increase in attacks on law enforcement officers, not just federal law enforcement officers, but regular NYPD officers, regular sheriffs. We have the Sheriff's Association who's going to be talking about that today. But specifically, New York alone, NYPD officers have faced a 63% increase attacks over the last 6 years. So it's not just ICE officers. This is happening across the board. And that's why it's my first hearing. We have to focus on this increase of attacks on our law enforcement. These guys are doing their jobs. These men and women are out there protecting our country. And there's political rhetoric right now that is putting targets on their backs.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that and the horrific and deadly shooting of 2 National Guard members in D.C., one of whom is still fighting for his life this morning. You know, it's just one example of the violence we've seen against those who serve to protect our nation, as you were talking about. And the Trump administration blames rhetoric from far-left leaders, and your committee put this together to shine a light on that. Take a listen.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
In the masked, secret police that are terrorizing our communities. ICE.
He has other aims other than fighting crime. That's the first thing they should understand. The second is it's an attack on the American people by the President of the United States.
These ICE agents gonna get shot and wiped out.
It's ICE. Unmasked. What are you afraid of?
It's just horrible when you listen to that, and we didn't hear this type of rhetoric years ago. What has changed, and is this rhetoric to blame for the rise in violence?
I think it is. I mean, and their attacks on the president, their hatred for President Trump is leading to a lot of these statements. But the problem is they're not putting a target on President Trump's back. Like I just said, they're putting targets on the police officers' backs, on law enforcement officers' backs. And these men and women are out there enforcing the law. They're not doing anything wrong. Calling them Gestapo, calling them secret police, they're actually doing their job. They are following the law by enforcing the laws that are on the books. And now they have to put up with possibly being shot at random. The National Guard soldiers that were here, they were blindly attacked. These blindside attacks are increasing. Also, it's tough to protect yourself against that. And I do blame it on the rhetoric. And that's why we're having this hearing today, to focus on what that rhetoric nationwide is doing and putting our men and women in law enforcement at risk.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, one of the things that I always question when we see these stories, we cover them so often, is it organized? And we've seen this time and time again. I mean, last month, the notorious Chicago street gang Latin Kings put out a shoot-on-sight order for Border Patrol agents. You've also had instances like the attack on the ICE facility in Dallas, where a sniper attack left 2 detainees dead. Officials discovered a bullet, near the sniper's location that read anti-ICE. I wonder not just who's fueling the rhetoric, but also who's funding all these actors. I mean, is that something we have to look into? Is this more of an organized crime issue?
Absolutely. I think there's definitely some organization here for some of the larger attacks, and I think we'll be looking into groups. My committee has broad jurisdiction when it comes to protecting the homeland. So we'll be taking a look to see where this. We're going to follow the money. We're absolutely going to follow the money and see who is paying who. When it comes to these organized gangs, when it comes to these organized groups that are putting out these statements. But I'm also concerned about the lone wolf actors. And there are quite a few of them, and those are even the tougher ones to protect against. Because, gangs, we've infiltrated gangs before, we've infiltrated groups before, we can follow the money there. But a lot of these statements, there are people that are mentally unwell out there, and they can get a gun, they can get a weapon, they can get anything, and just walk up and randomly assault a police officer, shoot a police officer. And I'm very concerned because those are the toughest ones to protect against.
No, absolutely right. And hope the committee work there leads to some changes because we got to back the blue. Congressman Andrew Garbarino, thanks for joining us this morning.